Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we are going to start part 19 of our campaign play of the Lord of the Rings saga. Now you might be going, part 19? What is this? Well, a long extended party came out with the Scouring of the Shire. This is a scenario after Mount Doom. So this is after we've dunked that ring and now we're going back to the Shire. If you remember from the book, there is a time where Saruman has taken hold of the Shire and you have the hobbits having to get it back from him. And that's what this quest is. And I'm so excited to show you this. I'm going to be using only one deck this time. Normally I like playing with two, but it just felt too right to play our one hobbit deck that we have with Sam, Merry, and Pippin. We're going to have Frodo with us. We're going to see if we can get Saruman out of the Shire. And if he ends up dying, it is what it is. But yes, so let's start off by reading. Since we are doing the campaign mode, we are going to take this card into account. They included this, which is really cool. So we have setup. Each player may change heroes they control without incurring the +1 threat penalty. I'm using the same heroes. Well, actually, I'm using different ones because I had used just Sam in Mount Doom. I'm now back to Sam, Merry, and Pippin. We have earned the boon cards Starlight Gem, Bright Mail, Scathia Horn, and Heightened Stature. Each player chooses one and adds it to their hand. If any of these boon cards remain unchosen, one player may choose to shuffle it into their deck. And I'm going to tell you now, I definitely want to have two, but they're the only cards that have this different backing, and I'm not using sleeves, so it's better for camera purposes. So we're only going to have one, which is a bummer because these are awesome, but it is what it is. We'll just carry on. We're going to remove Gwahir and all burdens from the campaign pool. So we have none of those burdens like Gandalf's delay. None of that. We're going to only have two boons that we had from before. We had Sting, and I believe we can still have the brace of conies, because why not? You know, we can still think about Gollum even after all of this, or I should say Smeagol. Unfortunately, though, we're going to have to attach the grievous wound from the road darkens to Frodo Baggins. We can choose one of these four boons to put directly into our hand. We have the Bright Mail attached to a hero. They get +1 defense, +2 if it's a hobbit. Oh, that's awesome. We have Scatha's Horn. Exhaust Scatha's Horn to choose an attacking enemy. Until the end of the phase, that enemy gets -1 or -2 instead if the defending character is a hobbit hero, and that's -2 attack. Our third one here, attached to a hero, the attached hero gains 2 hit points, +3 hit points actually instead of +2, if attached to a hobbit. Isn't that awesome? You can also do an action, exhaust Heightened Stature, to heal 1 damage from the attached hero. I actually really like that one, but the one I think I'm going to go with is this one. This is the Star-like Gem. We can attach it to a hero. We're going to attach it to Frodo. The attached hero gets +1 willpower, and then if the attached hero is a hobbit, it does not exhaust to quest. And the reason I'm doing that is you'll see in just a second. Do you remember this burden? I hated this burden. I tried to get rid of this as soon as possible in our campaign. It states here, so normally you'd throw it in the staging area, but remember, this is going to be immediately attached to Frodo, which makes sense. After a hero takes damage, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it has the condition that says after the attached hero exhausts, deal 1 damage to it. Yeah, Frodo has 2 health. So I do that 2 times, Frodo's done, and we lose the game. So that's why if I put this on Frodo, he won't exhaust to quest. I can at least use him for questing. Many partings. As they came out again into the open country at sundown, they overtook an old man leaning on a staff, and he was clothed in rags of gray or dirty white, and at his heels went another beggar, slouching and whining. Do you know who that is? Grima? Nice. Setup. Create the Sharky deck. I'll do that off to the side. You'll see how that works as we play. Set Saruman, Brandywine Gate, the 3 farthing stones, and each encounter side quest aside out of play. Then we're just going to shuffle the encounter deck. You don't care what a beggar lacks, do you? For you have all you want, food and fine clothes, and the best weed for your pipes. Ah, yes, I know where it comes from. You would not give a pipeful to a beggar, would you? Yeah, Saruman is not the happiest person right now. We can, as an action, exhaust a non-ring hero and discard a resource token from its pool. Then we can add 2 resources to the set-aside Saruman. We might want to do that. We'll see. At the end of the planning phase, advance to the next quest card. Let's take a quick look at our deck, shall we? We're going to try a fellowship deck. So this is using a contract, and our contract here states you cannot play non-unique allies or put non-unique allies into play. It has a forced effect. When you control exactly 9 unique characters, flip this card over. On side B, it states you cannot play allies or put allies into play. Each character you control gets +1 willpower, +1 attack, and +1 defense. After a character you control leaves play, flip this card over. So once we have 9 unique characters out, which by the way, we already have 4 because of Frodo. Thank you, Frodo. We only need 5 more unique characters, and my entire deck is completely full of unique allies. So once we have 9 of them out, we can't put any more out until 1 is no longer on the board. Here we have our 4 starting heroes. We have Sam. I did forget, he is a skilled healer. We got that all the way back after the first quest. I love that. He has +2 hit points and is considered to have the healer trait. Not sure if that's going to matter, but it is what it is. We have Merry here, and we have Pippin. And then Frodo, he has a response that after Frodo Baggins is declared as a defender, we can spend 1 ring resource to reduce your threat by the attacking enemy's threat. Until the end of the round, that enemy cannot take damage. And of course, if we lose him, we lose the game. We start off directly at 20 threat, and let's draw our 6 cards. Thank you, no Gandalf's delay. We'll draw our 6 cards. We have Timely Aid, great for a secrecy deck. Resourceful, that's another great secrecy deck card. We have Frodo's Intuition. Oh, that's going to help us with card draw. We have Gimli. We have Jubair. And one more, we have Eorith. So that's our 6. Do I want to keep it? Yeah. The Resourceful is what's making me think I should keep it, and I do like Timely Aid. If nothing else, we can... Oh, that's not Timely Aid, that's Gimli. Timely Aid is over here, and Eorith we can get out with a no cost. So let's go ahead. Let's draw one more, and we'll start here. And we do have the Shire folk. Nice. So that's our 7 cards. With these 7 cards, I think it's going to make the most sense right off the bat. We're going to play both of these. The Shire folk, play only if you can. All your heroes are hobbits. Yes, they are. Reduce your threat by 4. So we're going to go from 20 down to 16. Why wouldn't we do that? And then Eorith is going to cost 0. Cannot attack or defend. She's a 0/0/0 all the way across the board. But she has an action where we can spend a lore resource and exhaust her. Then you can heal 3 points of damage from a character. And any player can trigger that. Of course, we're only playing with 1 player. 16 threat. I am certainly happy with that. Then looking at my hand, what I'm thinking of doing is playing this Resourceful card. So remember, Secrecy 3 means that as long as your threat is 20 or under, you can reduce the cost of this card by the number after Secrecy. So normally this card would cost 4, it's only going to cost us 1. And we can attach it to a hero that we control. The attached hero collects 1 additional resource during the resource phase. Yeah, and that's each round. So we're definitely going to put that onto Pippin because I think I'm going to want lore resources with Eorith out. You also may have noticed that this card does not have a color. It's neutral. That means we can use any resource that we want to pay for it. And I think I'm going to use Sam's resource because I do think since I did get Shire folk, I am going to exhaust Merry and I'm going to spend the 1 resource here to do that action. And we're going to exhaust a non-ring hero and discard a resource from its pool. Then add 2 resources to the set-aside Saruman. We could do that as many times as we want, but I think I can only do it once. So we'll put 2 resources on Saruman. You'll see why as we get along further in the campaign, or sorry, the scenario, why that's important. We've now completed our planning phase. Let's move on to the next quest stage. After a brief encounter on the road with the disgraced Saruman, Frodo and his companions encounter resistance and hostility from the sheriffs of the Shire. When revealed, make Brandywine Gate the active location and add 3 farthing stone to the staging area. Our active location is right here. It's immune to player card effects. It says after Brandywine Gate is explored, each player searches the encounter deck for a feather-capped sheriff and engages it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Over here we have the 3 farthing stone. X is equal to 3 times the amount of players. That's 1, so it's 3. Immune to player card effects as well. The players cannot travel here unless they have 12 progress tokens on the escort prisoners stage. Response: after 3 farthing stone leaves play as an explored location, each player gets to reduce their threat by 3. That's good, but that probably means that we're going to be increasing threat from our stage. It's the chief's orders that you're to come along quiet. We're going to take you to the bywater and hand you over to the chief's men. This stage cannot have more than 12 progress tokens on it. At the end of the quest phase, if no progress was placed here as a result of questing successfully, the first player raises their threat by 3. So we definitely want to quest successfully. I do not want to be increasing my threat, not with a secrecy deck. If more than 3 progress is placed, each player engaged with more than one sheriff enemy may discard one of them. So if we continue to be engaged by these sheriff enemies, we can actually discard them if we put more than 3 on here. The players cannot advance while 3 farthing stone is in play. So we need to get 12 progress onto here. Once we do that, then we can travel to the 3 farthing stone. We can go through that and then move on to the next stage. Currently, we only have 1 threat in the staging area. So I think we're going to want to go a little bit hard on our questing here. We're going to use everybody. 3 plus 2, which is 5. Plus 2 here, and actually 3 here, and we don't have to exhaust Frodo. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to 1. Let's flip our top card, and we have the wooden shed. Okay, 5. We need a total of 5 quest points. It only adds 1 threat. While wooden shed is in the staging area, players cannot reduce their threat by more than 1 each round. We quested for 8. There's only 2 threat in the staging area. That means we get to place 6 progress, 1 on the active location, and 5 here on our main stage. That also means this will be removed. It has a victory symbol, so we'll remove it from the game. After this is explored, each player searches the encounter deck for a feather-capped sheriff and engages it. Not what I love doing, you'll see why, but I needed to do it. So the nice thing is we don't have to increase our threat by 3. By the way, what do you guys think of this art? I love the art of these cards. I almost feel like it's better than the base, the regular game. So here the feather-capped sheriff, it's only a 1/2/1/2, but it's indestructible, so that means we can't get rid of it. Damage dealt by the feather-capped sheriff to your characters is instead assigned as an increase to your threat. While the engaged player's threat is higher than this one, it gets +1 attack. Take that. We're not higher than 25. We have no option but to engage that feather-capped sheriff. However, after you engage an enemy with a higher engagement cost than your threat, and don't forget we have Pippin here, he says each enemy in play gets +1 engagement cost for each hobbit hero you control. So I get to add 4 to its engagement cost. So it's actually at 29, and we're only at 16. So because of that, we get to ready Sam, and he has +1 willpower, +1 attack, and +1 defense until the end of the round. Love it. We've now completed questing. Let's move to the travel phase. We're definitely going to travel to this wooden shed. Yeah, we're going to have to get 5 progress to get through it, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. And now we can reduce our threat by any amount that we'd like instead of 1. We can skip the encounter phase because there's only 1 enemy and it's engaged with us. So let's go right to combat. We'll drop a shadow card. I love this game. Haven't played this in a while. I am definitely going to defend with Sam. He's got 2 defense and 3 health. So this feathered capped sheriff is attacking with a total of 2 attack. We'll flip this over. Oh, it does have a shadow effect. It states, if the attacking enemy is a ruffian, it makes an additional attack. Aha! It's not a ruffian, it's a hobbit sheriff. So it attacks for 2. We have a defense of 2. We're good. We could, if we wanted to be risky, attack with Frodo, but remember, we can't even get rid of this, so that's totally useless. And you know what I'm going to do for Frodo? To remind myself that I have +1 willpower, because of that boon that we have, I'm going to give him one of those. Perfect. That'll end our round. We'll tick up our threat to 7. We'll ready everyone, and we will generate some resources. We'll then draw a card, and we have Fast Hitch. Ooh, this is going to be a fun turn. First thing that I'm going to do is I am going to play Frodo's Intuition. Each hero you control gets +1 willpower, and we get to draw 1 card for each Hobbit hero we control. Well, we control 4 Hobbits. So we're going to draw 4 cards, and we have to spend the 2 resources that Frodo has. I'm okay with that. We'll grab those 2 resources right here, and we'll draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take a look at these beauties. Okay, we have a very good tail, another timely aid. We have a Gandalf, and we have a very good tail. So 2 very good tails. Now, I really should have done this last round. You can tell I'm a little bit rusty. We're going to use Timely Aid. This is going to cost us 1 of the leadership resources. Thank you, Sam. We get to reveal the top 5 cards of our deck and put 1 revealed ally into play, and then shuffle all the other cards back into your deck. For some silly reason, I was thinking that it was only good for 1 round, but no, they stay out for the entire rest of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so long as they don't die. So that's kind of ridiculously cool. Oh, and look at this. We've got Bjorn, we have Gildor and Glorian, we have Barlin Butterbur, and Rosie. Which one? These are all so good. I don't know if we need more questing. I think we're going to need more attack. Let's do Bjorn, and we'll shuffle the rest in. But that also gives us 6 unique characters out. With this hand, I think the next thing we're going to do is use a very good tail. We're going to exhaust 2 allies you control to shuffle your deck and discard the top 5 cards. Put up to 2 allies discarded this way under your control. The total cost of the allies you put into play cannot exceed the total cost of the allies you exhaust to pay for this effect. Let's exhaust Bjorn and Eorith to do this. So that means I get a total cost of 6 for getting allies out. So let's shuffle these up. And then let's go ahead and draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see what they are. Well, I've got 2 5-cost allies, which one is Gandalf and the other one is Gildor and Glorian. But I could do both Rosie and I could do Gaffer. And I think I might do both of those just because it's going to get us so close to having 9 allies out. So let's choose these 2. That means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 unique allies out. We only need 1 more. For now, though, I think I am going to grab Fast Hitch. I'm going to place that onto Mary so that we can hopefully use him to keep reducing our threat, spending 1 of Pippin's resources. I have a total of 1 threat in the staging area, looking pretty good, with 5 total quest points or progress points that I need for my active location. So I need to make sure I quest for a minimum of 1 plus 5, which is 6, plus 1 more, which is 7. And then I've got to take into account I'm going to draw 1 card. I do have Rosie out, which is pretty awesome because she can help us with adding willpower if need be. So I've got 3 from Frodo. I'll do 3 from Sam, so that's 6. I'll do 2 from Mary and then immediately ready him, so that's 8. And then let's do 2 more here for a total of 10. Let's draw our top encounter card, and we have, when revealed, each enemy in play gets +1 attack until the end of the round. If there are fewer than 1 ruffians enemies in play, discard cards from the encounter deck until a ruffian enemy is discarded and added to the staging area. So we're going to have to get a ruffian, and it's going to get +1 attack, along with the sheriff that is engaged with us. That's just great. Okay, these are all treacheries. I love treacheries. Okay, here is a ruffian. I wish I could activate Mary, but this card's being discarded from the encounter deck and then added into play. You can only use Mary's effect when it's revealed from the encounter deck. It's a 2/3/2, but it's going to be a 2/4/2. When the thieving ruffian attacks you, raise your threat by 1 for each attachment the defending character has. Okay, not terrible. Granted, its engagement cost is 29, so I guess we don't even have to engage it if we don't want. We have questing points of 10. We have 3 in the staging area. That means we get to place 7 progress. That means 2 are placed here, and we can discard this location. Unfortunately, there is no location for us to travel to because we can't travel to this. This only has 7 progress, but we at least put progress on here so we don't increase our threat by 3. Now we just have to decide if we want to leave this ruffian out, and I think I'm going to. I don't think I need to deal with him right now. We'll leave him out in the staging area, so during that encounter phase, we don't have to engage him, and his engagement cost is 29. However, if we did, we could draw a card. Do we want to deal with him, though? No, let's not deal with him this round. We'll leave him, and we'll just move right to the combat phase. During the combat phase, we'll grab a shadow card, and then we are going to use Gaffer Gamgee. Return Gaffer Gamgee to your hand to choose an enemy with an engagement cost higher than your threat. Until the end of the round, that enemy cannot attack you. Ha! So that sheriff looks at us menacingly, but he's got a total of 29 as its engagement cost. Our threat's only 17, so we're good. But I'm going to have to return this to my hand. I'm okay with that, though, because I'm gaining 2 lore resources each round, so I can pay for him every round if I want it. So that means this shadow effect doesn't have an effect. It didn't have an effect anyways. I think with that, we're going to end the round because there's no reason to attack this indestructible sheriff. We're just going to increase our threat by 1. We're up to 18. We will ready everyone, and let's generate our resources. We'll then draw a card, and we have a test of will. During the planning phase, it's really hard not to play that timely aid. Secrecy 3, so it only costs us 1 of our resources here. We're going to reveal the top 5 cards of our deck and put 1 revealed ally into play. That's so nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me another good one. And we have Furiel or we have Glorfindel. Oh boy, so Furiel would be super nice because we're playing solo, so we'd essentially know what's coming. But Glorfindel, we could ready each phase. I could discard a card to ready him. And if he goes to the discard pile, I can just pay for him to come back out. Oh boy. I think I'm going to go Glorfindel because I get to shuffle Furiel back in. And if I ever want to get her back in, I could probably pay for her. So let's do Glorfindel. I think then we'll use the 2 resources here from Pippin so we can put out Gaffer, and that means we have our fellowship. We have 9 unique characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They now all have +1 attack, +1 willpower, and +1 defense. Wow. Okay, that's going to end our planning phase. I don't think there's anything else we want to play. I could do I can't do a very good tale because I cannot put out any more allies right now. So let's move to questing. We have a total of 3 threat in the staging area. So let's quest with Sam for 4. We also have Frodo for 4. That's 8. We'll do Merry, 9, 10, 11, immediately readying him. And we'll do Pippin, 12, 13, 14. We can always add Rosie for an additional 3 if we wanted. Let's draw our encounter card, and we have a highway robber. Ooh, this is an enemy, so I will go ahead and exhaust Merry, and we can reduce our threat by its threat. So its threat is 3, so we're going to reduce our threat by 3, going from 18, 1, 2, 3, down to 15. Thank you very much. This has a 34 as its engagement cost, 3, 4, 3. Whew. When the highway robber attacks you, either discard 1 resource from a hero you control, or it gets +2 attack. We quested for 14. We have a total of 6 threat in the staging area. That gives us a total of 8 progress. That will mean we get to the total of 12 onto our main quest. But remember, we can't place any more than the 12 on here. Now, though, we are able to, during the travel phase, travel to the 3 farthing stone. Then we'll move to that encounter phase, and I believe we're going to engage this highway robber. We don't have to, but we're going to, and because we're engaging an enemy that has a higher engagement cost than our threat, we'll ready Sam. Sam will get a +1 to all of his points of attack, defense, and willpower, and we get to draw a card thanks to Pippin. Oh, I love this. So we just gained Barlin Butterbur. We'll move into that combat phase, giving each of our enemies 1 shadow card. Now, I could use Gaffer's ability, but if I use Gaffer's ability, I'm going to lose the +1 on everyone. I don't think I want to do that yet. I'm going to have the highway robber attack us first, and I am going to discard 1 of Pippin's resources so he doesn't get +2 to his attack. So his attack is simply 4. Sam Gamgee's defense right now is 1 normally, +1 because of the fellowship, which is 2. +1 because of his ability since he readied, so that's 3. And then I'm going to use Rosie over here and exhaust her to add 3 more defense to Sam. That's a total of 6. He is a beast for defending. All we need now is a way for him to ready. Where are those? I need some more fast hitches. So he has 6 defense to the 4 attack, and we have no shadow card effect, so I'll just discard that. That attack is done. Now, this feather-capped sheriff is going to attack us for 2, and I think I'm just going to take that undefended. It'll mean we'll hit our threat, but I think I'm okay with that. So it's attacking us for 2. We have no shadow effect again, so we'll just increase our threat from 15 to 17 total threat. Now we get to attack. I'm going to use Bjorn. Here he's attacking for 4. And I'm going to use Glorfindel. He's also attacking for 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. We needed a total of 6 to take out this ruffian. This ruffian's toast. This sheriff still hangs around because we can't get rid of them. They're indestructible. I think they're just too nice. We don't feel like we can attack them. With that, we'll ready all of our characters, end the round, move up to 18 threat, and generate our resources. We'll then draw our top card, and we have Sting. Oh, you know who we're putting Sting on? Sam Gamgee. He's going to be our Sting man. And you know what? Why the heck not? Let's do it right now. We're going to put Sting on to Sam. It has the attached hero gets +1 to all of its stats. After the attached hero exhausts to defend an attack, discard the top card of the encounter deck and deal damage to the attacking enemy equal to the discarded threat of that card. Ooh, but the big thing is he gets +1 of everything. I'm going to use one of Frodo's and one of Pippin's to do that. There isn't much in the staging area, just a ruffian. We need a total of 3 progress to get through this, so I need a total of 5 to be able to move to the next stage, and I think I'm ready. I can't play any more allies. Maybe, well, we'll see what happens, but maybe I can get Gaffer back into my hand and I can put out another awesome ally, but we'll see. The other one that, Yorith is good for healing though. I kind of want her out, but it's like, oh, I want all these awesome allies that are in my deck. I think it's safe to say we'll be able to do that, considering Frodo here quests for 2, +1 because of what he's carrying, +1 because of the fellowship. So that's 2, 3, 4. That's 4 right there. We're going to send Sam, and so he's doing 3 + 2 more, which is 5. So 5 + 4 is 9. We'll send Mary for 10, 11, 12. I think that's it. 12 is more than enough. We'll flip our top encounter card, and we have another feather-capped sheriff. Fortunately, he's at a 25 + 4, which is 29. I could just leave him in the staging area with 1 threat. So yeah, that's actually it. Oh, and you know what? I might as well exhaust Mary so I can decrease my threat by 1. So we're back down to 17 total threat. We quested for a total of 12. We have 3 in the staging area. That's 9. That's more than enough to go through this 3 farthing stone. And it states that after we've quested through this location, we get to reduce our threat by 3. 1, 2, 3. We go down to 14 total threat. I love it. And this is removed from the game. It's a victory card. Let's look at stage 3. The Shire has fallen under the sway of a gang of ruffians led by a man known as Sharky. Frodo and his friends must prepare Bywater and raise support to contest him. When revealed, randomly select 3 of the set-aside non-Doom side quests and put them into play. 4 if there's 3 or 4 players. We're only playing 1, so I'll do 3 random ones. Our first side quest is Set Up Barriers. Others at Mary's orders were setting up barriers across the road at each end of the village. Players cannot draw cards. Great. Spend 1 resource as a group to place 3 progress on set up barriers. Okay, so I need to spend, because I need 12 on here, I need to spend 4 resources. I could even do that now. When this quest is completed, the first player discards all resources from each hero they control. Oh my gosh, then flip this over. Our second side quest is Watch the East Road. There's a big band about 4 miles away. There must be close on 100 of them, and they're fire-raising as they come. Cannot be chosen as the active quest. So this is Watch the East Road. X is equal to 1 + 1, so it's 2. At the beginning of the staging step, place any number of progress here and reveal an equal number of encounter cards. Oh, when this quest is defeated, flip this over. So I've done 1 practice play of this, and so far these 2 have not been ones I've seen. I have seen this one, Rouse the Cottons. Come on now, lads, Bywater is up. We must be in it. While Rouse the Cotton is the current quest, allies cannot commit to the quest. When this quest is defeated, flip it over. Nice. As soon as they saw how things were, most of them took off their feathers and joined in the revolt. Nice. After a side quest is defeated, search the encounter deck for a sheriff enemy and add it to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck. At the end of the round, place 1 resource token here and raise each player's threat by the total number of resource tokens here. Then, the players may choose to advance to the next quest stage. Well, those 3 side quests are going to be a lot of fun to deal with. We'll move to that encounter phase, and I think I am going to engage this thieving ruffian here. So because I am doing that, that will ready Sam, giving him +1 to all of his stats, and we get to draw another card. I love Pippin. And we get the drinking song. I'm realizing, of course, I can't draw this card because I currently have a side quest out that says I can't draw a card. So I'm going to put that back into my deck and shuffle it up. Okay, so I do not have the drinking song in my hand. I need to get rid of that side quest, which I'm planning on doing. But first, let's take care of combat. We've got 2 enemies here. So this first ruffian, it states that when it attacks, you're going to raise your threat by 1 for each attachment the defending character has. So I am going to defend with Glorfindel, just because I have ways I can heal him with Eoriath. So let's see, no shadow effect. So that attack is for 3, so that's going to give Glorfindel 2 points of damage. We can handle that. Then for this sheriff, the sheriff's going to attack for 2. Do I just want it to hit my threat? No, I think I'm going to use Sam, because I don't need Sam, I don't think. And the attack is for 2. Defense is 1. Fellowship makes it 2. This makes it 3. And the regular is 4, so 4 defense. And we have no shadow effect. Gosh, I feel like either there's not a lot of shadow effects in this scenario, or I'm getting lucky. Then all we can do is attack this thieving ruffian, and that'll be easy. Bjorn can attack for 4 with the fellowship. That'll take him out, no problem. Now I plan to do some actions. We have an action here. We can spend 1 resource as a group to place 3 progress on setup barriers. So in order to clear this, I need to spend 3, 6, 9, 12, 4 resources. I'm going to spend 2 from Mary and 2 from Pippin. Okay, I really don't want this. So that's all 4. That's going to give us 12 progress. It states now, when this quest is completed, the first player discards all resources from each hero they control. So that means Frodo, Sam, and Mary, they all don't have resources. But then we'll flip this card over. And this is so thematically cool. I love it. When revealed, choose 1 player to take control of a sheriff enemy, engage with them, and attach the roused hobbits to it. If there are no engaged sheriff enemies, then you just discard this. Now, I have this fellowship. I cannot put allies into play, but I'm pretty sure that I can control these roused hobbits. At least that's how I'm going to play it, because that seems awesome. So I have 1 engaged sheriff, and now you can see, while attached, it counts as a condition attachment with the text. The attached card loses the indestructible trait and the enemy trait, and gains the ally card type with its willpower equal to its threat. So it's going to have a total willpower of 2, an attack of 2, defense of 1, and health of 2. And it's an ally. So cool. We need to remember, though, we have a forced effect. After a side quest is defeated, search the encounter deck for a sheriff enemy and add it to the staging area. So I've got now 2 of these in the staging area. I'm okay with that. We're going to end the round now, and what we have to do is place a resource here. Then we're going to have to increase our threat by 1, so we're up to 15 for every resource that's on here. And then we can move to the next quest card. I don't want to do that. I want to clear the other 2, at least 1 other one, if not 2. So I'm going to bump my threat up to 16, and I'll generate resources, and this time I do get to draw a card. So let's see what card I draw this time. I draw the Song of Hope. It'd be really nice if the camera would focus on it. There we go. Well, I think the only thing we are going to do is take that Song of Healing during our planning phase and put it onto Sam. We can now discard a card, and when we do that, we can heal that hero by 1. We'll then move into the questing phase, and we're going to make this the active quest. That means we can only quest with our heroes this round. I'm okay with that. I could reveal more encounter cards. Oh, do I want to do that? You know what? Let's do 1. So I'm going to place 1 progress on here, and I will have to draw 1 additional questing card, or I should say encounter card. That means we definitely want to quest successfully. We only have 2 threat in the staging area, though, so I think we'll be okay. We've got 3 plus a total of 2 thanks to the fellowship, so that's 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll immediately ready him. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're questing for 15 to 2. We'll draw our first encounter card, and we have, when revealed, raise each player's threat by 4. Then each player discards an ally they control and reduces their threat by X, where X is the printed cost of the discarded ally. Yeah, I think the answer to that one is no. We have a test of will, and we have Mary's resource. Let's use that to cancel that card. Oh my goodness, that is not a good card. Let's flip our second one then. Oh, we just have a location, East Road. Peril. When revealed, either raise your threat by 2 or gain surge. I'll raise my threat by 2. That'll put me up from 16 up to 18. We have a total of 6 threat in the staging area. We quested for 15. That's 9 progress. We have no active location. That means we just quested through this location or this quest card, and unfortunately we have no sheriffs engaged with us, so we get no benefit from that. Gosh darn. And I'm going to have to put another sheriff out in the staging area. It is what it is. I still think it was good that we got rid of that side quest. We'll most certainly travel to the East Road. And then moving into the encounter phase, let's go ahead and engage one of these feather-caped sheriffs. We're still at a lower engagement cost. I love that. So we'll ready Sam, and we'll draw a card, and we have a second resourceful. We have only one enemy out for the combat phase. Let's exhaust Bjorn. He's attacking for 2. Let's see what we get. We do get a shadow effect. If your threat is higher than the attacking enemy's engagement cost, the attacking enemy gets +2. Otherwise, raise your threat by 2. We're going to have to just deal with the threat raise. That's going to move us up to 20 threat. We're going to be out of our secrecy at the end of this round. Now, I could attack all I wanted, but that's silly. It's not going to help us. So I think we'll just end the combat phase. Let's go ahead and end the round. I think I am going to deal with the threat increase, and I'm going to stay here another round. We're going to tick this up to 2. That's going to put us up to 22 threat. Plus 1 more for the end of the round, 23. Ugh. But then I will ready everything. I will draw a card, and we have Fast Hitch. Cool. For this round, we're going to pay 1, 2, plus 2 resources here for 4, and we're going to put Resourceful out. We didn't get the secrecy benefit to make it only cost 1, but now we're going to gain a bunch of leadership resources, and we will get lore resources. I like that. We're also going to place a Fast Hitch onto Sam. Sam is going to be the man. So we're spending another lore resource for that. He is overflowing with attachments. We have to choose Rise the Shire as our main quest, but I do just want to show you that we are going to place that second progress here. We're going to draw 2 encounter cards. That will then mean this will be gone, but we're going to have to place a third feathered capped sheriff out. Oof. We don't need a ton of questing. I will send Sam, and then actually I'm going to leave him exhausted because I can always use his ability if need be, and if that doesn't work, I then have Fast Hitch. So he's questing for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 15 total questing to 3 threat in the staging area. We have to draw 2 encounter cards. The first one is Hobbiton Road. After Hobbiton Road leaves play, put a ruffian enemy in the discard pile into play engaged with a player. Ugh. And we have Brick Building. While Brick Building is in the staging area, characters cannot be healed. Okay, we've seen that one before. And don't forget, since this card was completed when we placed that second progress on it, we're going to be able to convert that one of the sheriffs into an ally. However, that means we now have 3 out in the staging area. We quested for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So we'll be able to place the 2 progress to remove this active location. Then we can travel, and let's travel to the Brick Building. I don't really want to go to the Hobbiton Road, and I'm not having problems questing. So let's just leave that out in the staging area. Now we could engage one of these enemies. We're not going to be able to attack it. But yeah, why don't we engage one of these, because then we can draw a card from our deck. And we get the Brace of Conies. Nice, this is a great card. We'll then move to that combat phase, give the Feathered Capped Sheriff a shadow card. Then we'll use Gaffer Gamgee, because why the heck not? I don't know why I haven't been doing that. Let's put him back into our hand so he can't attack. That will mean we no longer have the Fellowship for right now, but we can certainly put him out later. We'll then discard this shadow card. Oh, it had a shadow effect. Awesome. And I think then we're going to end the round. With ending the round, we're going to tick this die up to a 3 if I can find it. Increase our threat to 26. Ugh, that's not what we want to be. Place 1 resource token here and raise each player's threat by that total number. Then they can choose to advance, and we definitely want to advance. The Battle of Bywater. When revealed, shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Remove each sheriff enemy in play and in the encounter deck from the game. The first player searches the encounter deck and victory display for 1 copy of Gang of Ruffians and engages it. Then each player not engaged with a ruffian enemy searches the encounter deck for a ruffian enemy and engages it. So we're just going to engage one of those big guys. You're going to see him soon. Shuffle the encounter deck. Discard cards from the encounter deck until X enemies are discarded and add those enemies to the staging area. X is the number of encounter side quests in play, which is 0. So we don't have to do that. Awesome. Then remove those side quests from the game. So we took care of all the side quests. So there's going to be no enemies in the staging area. We're just going to have one big guy that's on us. And we're going to remove all the sheriffs from play. So I have one engaged with us that's going to be gone, and the 2 in the staging area, they're now on our side. Think of it that way. Look at this gang of ruffians. 4 threat, 8 attack, 3 armor, 8 health. Response: when gang of ruffians would deal damage during an attack, instead distribute that damage among characters controlled by the defending player. So that's the one nice thing, you can spread out its damage because it attacks for 8. We have forced. After gang of ruffians attacks, if the attack destroys at least one of your characters, discard 1 random card from your hand and raise your threat by 1. The ruffians could not be cowed so easily. A few of them obeyed, but were immediately set on by their fellows. A score or more broke back and charged the wagons. While any ruffian enemy in play has any remaining hit points, all ruffian enemies gain indestructible. Whoa, so as long as there's a ruffian in play, they're just going to keep coming out. Once we can deal enough damage to all of them, so I've got to get damage on that guy quick. Once we have enough damage on all of them, they'll all lose that indestructible keyword. If there are no enemies in play, advance to the next quest stage. Oh, I really like how they do that. That's cool. We'll end the round ticking up our threat all the way to 27. Remember when we were under 20? Yeah, that feels like forever ago. Huh. We'll generate resources. 1 here, 2 on Pippin. Oh, wait. We should be getting 2 on Sam as well. And then 1 more on Frodo. And then we'll go ahead and draw a card from the top of our deck. And we have the Shire folk. Oh, that I was just talking about threat, and that should help us. During our planning phase, let's start with the Brace of Conies. Thanks, Smeagol, even though you almost tried to kill Frodo. We can choose 2 of the following. Heal up to 2 damage? No. Add 2 resources. Choose a player to draw 2 cards or reduce the threat by 2 for a player. We're going to start by the threat reduction. So we're going to go down to 25 total threat. And then let's do the draw 2 cards, shall we? So we gain a Test of Will and a Power of Orthanc. That's awesome. This is then put in the victory display, so that's gone for the rest of the game. Then, without a doubt, we're going to play the Shire folk, because that's going to reduce our threat by 4. So we're going to go from 25 down to 21. We're still not in secrecy. I don't think we need to be in secrecy. Technically, we do not have a fellowship right now, so that means we can play an ally. And what a great time to play Gandalf. Gandalf always comes in at a great time. So we're going to bring him in. He's going to cost 5 resources, but we're going to deal 4 damage to that gang of ruffians. Yeah, I mean, if he came in with his fireworks, you better believe he's going to freak some of them out. We'll deal that 4 damage right here. We have to spend 5 resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That looks good. That also means we can flip our fellowship card and they all have +1s again, but it's only going to be for this round because Gandalf then will disappear. We actually only have 2 threat in the staging area, so we don't have to quest too hard because we don't have to place any progress. We will want to get rid of the location, likely, but as long as we don't draw a ruffian in our 1 card draw, we might be able to do this and get to the next quest card. We'll send our regular hero set for a total of 15, and I think that is more than good enough. We can always use Rosie if we need to add +3. And of course, I exhausted Frodo. I don't have to exhaust Frodo. I unexhausted him because if I did, he'd take a damage because of that grievous wound. So we drew a location. 4 threat, peril, either raise your threat by 2. Yeah, we're going to raise our threat by 2. We're going to go to 23. So that should mean we can take this ruffian out. 6 threat to 15 questing. We quested for 9. That 5 will certainly go on here and get rid of this. And then we will, during the travel phase, travel to this one. I'm going to leave that road alone. I don't want more ruffians out. We'll move into that combat phase, grabbing a shadow card for the gang of ruffians. I am going to use our fast hitch on Sam so that then I can exhaust him again and use him to defend. He has 1 defense normally, 1 from Sting, so that's 2, 1 from the Fellowship, which is 3. He did not use this ability, so he's not at 4, so I do think I'm going to use Rosie. Rosie will exhaust, giving him 3 more defense, so his defense is 6. That means he's getting attacked for 8. He has 6 defense. Okay, let's see. Oh, it has a shadow effect. Deal 1 damage to the defending character or raise your threat by 1. Well, let's deal 1 damage. We'll deal the damage to Sam. Then, of course, there's 2 more damage that's coming in that we did not defend against. And it says here, when it would deal damage, instead distribute the damage among characters controlled by the defending character. Let's put 2 damage on Gandalf, because guess what? Gandalf is going to leave at the end of this round. So we'll take that. Now let's hit him. So we need 8, 9, 10, 11. We have Bjorn here who's attacking for 4. We have Gandalf here who's attacking for 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just between those 3, we have enough damage on this ruffian. It's the only ruffian, so I'll go ahead and discard this, and that should allow us to progress into our next quest card. The very last stroke. With Sharky's forces scattered, Frodo set out to confront him. To Frodo's surprise, he is greeted by none other than Saruman, with Grima Wormtongue cowering nearby. If it is the combat phase, end that phase. Yeah, I think that would have been what we just did. We just ended the combat phase. Add Saruman and Grima's choice to the staging area. Saruman here is a 4 threat, 5 attack, 4 defense, 9 health. Immune to player card effects, cannot be engaged. Sharky card effects cannot be cancelled. And that's what I made that Sharky deck for. I am not excited about flipping those cards. Forced. At the end of the staging step, add 1 resource token to Saruman and reveal the top card of the Sharky deck. Then put the revealed card on the bottom of the Sharky deck. We also have Grima's choice. Wormtongue, calls Frodo. You need not follow him. I know of no evil you have done to me. You can have rest and food here for a while until you are stronger and can go on your own ways. X is equal to 3. The stage cannot be chosen as the current quest while the very last stroke has remaining quest points. Okay, we haven't seen the backside of that. When this stage is defeated, discard Saruman from play. You are wise and cruel. You have robbed my revenge of sweetness, and now I must go hence in bitterness. X is equal to 6. This stage cannot have more progress than the number of resource tokens on Saruman. So Saruman has 2. I have to get it all the way up to 6. We do have an action here. We can exhaust a hero and discard 1 resource token from its pool to add 1 resource to Saruman. This stage cannot be defeated while Saruman is in play. When this stage is defeated, the players win the game. So, first thing we need to do is get enough resources onto Saruman. For however much we do, once we get to 6, we can then complete this one, get to 6 total progress. Once we do that, then we can make Grima's choice our active quest. And then we need to get 3 progress on here. When we do that, we would then discard Saruman from play, which would then mean we won the game. At least that's how I understand it. This will end the round. We'll move up to a 24 threat. Well, ready everyone. Unfortunately, Gandalf, don't leave. Don't leave. Yeah, he's going to leave. So we no longer have a fellowship again. We've generated our resources, and let's go ahead and draw our top card, and we have Quick Beam. So that Sharky deck is no joke. I've seen it. I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that up to 6 total resources right now. I'm going to exhaust Fast Hitch for Sam, spending 1 resource. That will put 1 on there. I'm going to exhaust Fast Hitch for Mary, placing that resource on to Saruman. I'm going to have to exhaust Pippin. That'll be the 3rd one. And I'm going to do 1 out of the 2 damage to Frodo. And it also means he's not going to be able to quest, but that's going to give us our 4th resource that we can put onto Saruman. This now means Saruman has the 6 resources. We're going to be able to put 6 onto here, which means next round we can do this one and hopefully win the game. Hopefully. Let's see if we can do it. I am going to do one more thing during the planning phase, and that is to put Quick Beam out. After Quick Beam enters play, deal 1 damage to ready him. Normally he wouldn't be ready. I am definitely going to have him come in ready. And that means we have 9 unique characters again, so we're back to our fellowship. We have a total of 6 threat in the staging area, plus there's 2 from the active location, and we need 6 for the actual quest cards. What's that? 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. Oh boy, so we need a total of 14 questing points. Well, we've got 2 over here. We've got another 2 over here. That's for 4. We'll add 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait, and we got to add ones to a lot of these. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and we can always add Rosie for another 3. Maybe that's enough. We're only drawing 1 card, so yeah, 17 quest points. Oh, and before I forget, I am going to discard Gimli, I think, so that I can ready Glorfindel. I can do that once per phase, and I want to do that during the questing phase, so then we can do that during the combat phase if we need. We'll start by drawing the top card of our encounter deck, and we're going to cry because we have a gang of ruffians. Oh, at least they're at 40 threat. We can maybe just leave them in the staging area. But that's going to add 4 threat to the staging area. Oh my gosh, are we going to have enough? Okay, then I was silly, but I'm just going to take it. This is the hard part about recording. I'm going to place another progress on Saruman. So Saruman actually has 7. I only needed to put 6 or 5 on him. I would have placed the 6th during this, but whatever. I'd have to deal with it. And we're going to flip the top card of his Sharky deck. Okay, let's look at this one. When revealed, discard cards from the encounter deck until a location is discarded and add that location to the staging area. Deal X damage among characters in play, where X is twice the number of locations in play. I have 2 locations in play. That'll be 3. That'll mean I'll need to deal 6 damage. Wow. Okay, that's not a location. Don't be a bad location. Okay, it's just the wooden shed, and that's adding another threat to the staging area. At least we can spread it out. We'll do 1, 2 on our little hobbit friends over here, and let's do 4 on Bjorn. That will mean we have a total of 6. That actually wasn't as bad as I was thinking because I forgot we have Bjorn over here. He is a lifesaver. We quested for 17. We have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 4 progress we'd be putting on here. I want to place 6. So I am going to exhaust Rosie to add 3 to Sam. Yeah, because I can do that. We'll add 3 more quest points to Sam, and that will give us the 6 that we need on here. And we progressed through that location, and we have the 6 that we need. So next time we can do Grima's Choice. That will also mean this location is discarded. For choosing an active location, let's choose the wooden shed. And then the question becomes, do we want to deal with the gang of ruffians or not? Because technically all we have to do is get through the quest. We need to have 3 questing points. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to engage him. We can. And because he is higher than our engagement cost, we will ready Sam. Thank you very much. And we get to draw another card, and we have Arwen. We'll move to that combat step. We will grab our shadow card. We are going to exhaust Glorfindel to defend. He only has 1 armor. This is attacking for 8, but remember, we can spread the damage. We do have a shadow effect. If your threat is higher than the attacking enemy's engagement cost, it's not. Otherwise, we raise our threat. Okay, we'll go from 24 to 26. This means that we have to spread out 7 damage. 3, 4, 5, so that's 1 damage. That's 2 damage. That's 3, 4, oh my gosh. 5, 6 to Mary, and 7, 1 more to Sam. Sam can take it. But that is the 7 damage we needed to spread, because remember, it dealt 8 damage. We had 1 armor. We now need to deal 8, 9, 10, 11 total damage. Well, I'm going to discard Barlin Butterbur, I can't talk, to ready Glorfindel, and then I think I'm going to use the action on Bjorn. This states Bjorn gains +5 attack. We have 3 + 5, which is 8, plus 1 more because of the fellowship, so that's 9. And then we'll add 4 more, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's enough to take out the second gang of ruffians. Now, actually, we should have had +1 armor because of the fellowship, so I'm going to take 1 damage off of Glorfindel because of that. However, after this, Bjorn will get shuffled back into our deck, and we're no longer a fellowship. We have no end of round effects, so we'll simply ready all of our characters. We'll generate resources. We're going to move up to 27 total threat. Let's do that, and then we'll draw a card, and we have Gandalf. And moving into that planning step, why the heck not? Let's put out Gandalf. This is the other Gandalf, though. This Gandalf comes from the Hobbit series, and it does not exhaust to commit to a quest. And at the end of the round, you can actually choose to keep him out by raising your threat by 2. So he'll come in as a 4/4/4, but because he's our 9th one of the Fellowship, he's a 5/5/5. Oh my gosh. 5 resources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the easiest set of 5 resources I've ever paid. Okay, now let's go ahead and quest. We only have, 6 threat in the staging area. We already are questing for 5, plus another 2, 3, 4. So that's 9 right there. We'll add Sam for 5 more. That's 14. We'll add Mary, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And you know what? 20, 21, 22, 23. And I'll discard Jubair to ready him. We're certainly making Grima the active quest that we're going to try and quest on. 24, we have 4 plus 2, which is 6 here, and 5 from our active location. Let's draw our top encounter card. We have each enemy in play gets +1 attack. No. I have one of these. We're going to take care of that with 1 resource from Mary. That's canceled. Now we just have to deal with the Sharky card, and as long as nothing terrible happens, when revealed, each player must choose. Either raise your threat by 1 for each ally you control, or discard 2 allies you control. Yeah, you know what? Let's just discard the 2 allies that I totally forgot that we even had. Our 2 Hobbit sets. Our 2 allies that are Hobbits are gone, and you know what that means? Well, I think we've won the game here. We quested for 24. We have 6 here plus 5, which is 11. That means we still have 13 quest points that we're placing on here. Because we quested through this successfully, Saruman is discarded from play, and that means from here we win the game. And I've got to say, holy moly, this deck is a lot of fun. I love the Fellowship idea. It does mean that once you get them out, you will a lot of times have dead cards in your hand, but it's super fun to get them out quickly, power them all up. It's a little hard to keep track of sometimes, but I love it. Bjorn was actually the one I found this deck and modified it a little bit for the actual scenario that we're playing, but I'll make sure to put a link to that deck in the description below. Also, now with this being done, I'm just in the mood to play some Lord of the Rings. I am going to move to the Hobbit and finish off my last 2 scenarios that I haven't done. So you're going to see those in the next couple of weeks, followed by I have 2 more of the A Long Extended Party that I haven't done that also will be recorded soon. So be on the lookout for at least 4 more plays of Lord of the Rings, because who cannot get enough of this game? Me. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I hope to see you in our next playthrough. I'll catch you at the next stop.